You've probably heard you should only spend 30% of your income on it, or maybe you've been told about the 28-36 rule. But what does any of that actually mean when you've got student loans, a car payment, and a life that you still like? You, sorry, you guys, I had something going on. I had to burp. Let me drink some water real quick, yeah. Hot mess. Anyway, um, for years, you've been handling all these one size fit rules that you feel like they were made for a totally different economy. They don't fit into your Pacific, your life, your debts, your Pacific life goals, what you got going on. Those yesteryear's rules don't really apply to today's landscape, okay? So we're going to throw everything out, okay? And I'm going to just show you the simple no guess formula that lenders actually use to figure out how much money you can borrow. By the end of this, you'll know your right in this you'll know your real home buying budget, and you can finally start shopping with confidence. Okay? So number 1, why the old rules are broken. First things first, let's debug some seriously outdated advice. The most common one is that you've heard is the 28-36 rule. It means your housing payment shouldn't be more than 28% of your gross monthly income, and your debt shouldn't be more than 30%, 36%. So that is the 28-36 rule. Another classic is that you can afford a house that Another class is that you can afford a house that costs 2 or 3 times what you make a year. These might be fine as starter points, but in today's world, they're just dangerous. They completely ignore a huge property difference. They they completely ignore the huge difference in property taxes from one state to another, the rising cost of homeowners insurance for millions of us, and the crushing student loan debt that just wasn't a thing back in the day when it was like 30 years ago. The way the student loan debt is today wasn't a thing. So following these rules can backfire in 2 ways. You are either lowballing what you can actually afford, or you're missing out on a great house, or even worse, you may actually be overestimating what you can comfortably pay. You may end up with a budget so tight that one unexpected car payment can send you into a financial tailspin. The truth is, lenders use a much more specific number, and once you know what it is, you're in the driver's seats, and it'll be better for you. So number 2, the only metric that matters is your DTI, your debt to income ratio. Okay? So forget all the noise. The single most important rule for any mortgage lender is your DTI, your debt to income ratio. This is a percentage that shows you how much of your pre-tax monthly income goes towards your debts. To get it, you'll divide your total monthly debt payments by your gross monthly income. Okay? Lenders look at 2 kinds of DTIs. The first one, there's your front end ratio. It only looks at your potential housing costs, the mortgage itself, your principal and interest, property taxes, home insurance, and HOA fees. Lenders use this to slightly see Lenders like seeing this around 28%, but they've gotten a lot more flexible recently. Second, and the second the second and way more important is your back end ratio. This is a big one. It takes all your future housing payments plus all of your existing debts. So basically, we're talking about your car payments, your student loans, your credit cards, and your personal loans. Basically, everything on your credit report. This back end DCI is what truly decides how much house you can afford. While the old 28-36 rule is capped, this is capped at 36. Today's lenders are playing a different game. Now, depending on your loan and your credit, lenders will be able to approve you at a back end DCI of 43 or 45, or even some cases can be high as 50. But again, we have to look at the key to this is, can you really afford it? Okay. That brings us to section 3, the no guesswork formula, a step-by-step walkthrough. Okay, so enough for the theories. Let's run some numbers. We'll use a hypothetical income of $75,000 a year to make it real. So grab a calculator and follow along. Step 1: find your find your gross monthly income. This is your income before taxes. So take 75,000 and divide it by 12. That gives us a gross monthly income of $6,250. List all of your debts. Look at your credit report. That's where we get all your debts from, and plug in your numbers. So for example, let's say your student loan payment is $400 a month. Your car payment is $500 a month. Your credit card payment is $150 a month. That means your existing debts is $1,050. The next thing you want to do is step 3: determine your max DTI ratio. This is the lender's magical number. For a conventional loan, a common DTI is 43% to 45%. An FHA loan can go higher, but let's be realistic and use 43%. For our calculation, is a solid number. Many borrowers can get approved for. So then you want to calculate in step 4, you want to calculate your maximum allowed monthly debts. So here's what it all clicks. Here's where it all clicks. We just multiply your gross monthly income by that DTI ratio. So it's 6,250, which is your gross income, times 0.43%, which is your DTI ratio, and that would equal to $2,687.50. This number, $2,687.50, is the absolutely max. Is the absolute max. A lender won't approve you for a total monthly debt loaded income. I'm sorry. A lender won't approve you for today's monthly debt load income, including your new mortgage, that goes over this amount. Okay? So step 5, find your max housing payment. This is the final step. Take that maximum monthly debt and subtract the debts that you already have. So $2,687.50 minus the existing debts of $1,050, and that will equal to $1,637.50. And there you have it. That's your number based on your maximum monthly housing payment, including principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, $1,637.50. This is the number that you can work with. Okay, so section 4. So you can have your maximum monthly payment at $1,637.50. But your home price, does that actually translate to? So what kind of home price does it actually translate that to? This is where things get tricky, because that $1,637.50 has to cover more than just the loan. It has to cover the PITI. That is P is for principal, that part of the payment that pays down your loan. I is for interest, the fee for borrowing the money. Okay. In April 2006, the average 30-year fixed mortgage is around 6.9%. T is for taxes, property taxes, which are a massive variable. A $300,000 home in one state may have $600 a month in taxes, while in the same home somewhere else could be around $100. I is for insurance. Homeowners insurance costs that changes widely based on where you live. So let's see how this affects our $1,637.50 payment. If we estimate property taxes and insurance are a combined $400 a month, that leaves you with a $1,237.50 for principal and interest. At a 6.9% interest rate, that supports a loan about $188,000. But what if you live in a higher tax area and your taxes and insurance are $650 a month? All of a sudden, you only have $987.50 left for the principal and interest. That same 6.9% rate not only gets the loan of about $150,000, that's a $38,000 drop in buying power, all because of the local costs. You have to research your property taxes and insurance. Don't just guess it. Now that you have a complete formula, you're probably ready to run your own numbers. To make it easier, of course, there are home affordability calculators out there that you can use. I also sell on my website um, budget spreadsheets, so you can budget and see if these can really work with your monthly budget. You can just see what works for your monthly budget. Okay, you can go on my website for this. This next part maybe is the most important takeaway here. The number the lender gives you is not the same as what you can comfortably afford. Okay, a lender is just managing the risk. You have to manage your own life. It is important for you to manage your own life. This is why I suggest you to use a budget spreadsheet that I set on my website so that you can look at what you can actually afford. And you can also stress test the numbers. So let's say that you pay $1,000 in rent, but the house that you want to buy is $1,500. You can stress that to see if you can actually afford that by just paying $1,000 of rent and set aside $500 every single month to see how you financially capable of handling that every single month. You get what I'm saying? So just take that $500, put it aside, and act like you paid for your mortgage. You really didn't, but it's just so you can see if this number is realistic for you to pay, so you can feel comfortable paying every single month. Okay. Make sure that you also understand that groceries, utilities, and all that, if all those numbers comes across. So just don't think about just your mortgage and your debts. You have life expenses. The last thing I want you to do is end up house poor. That's not anything that I want for myself, and it's definitely nothing I want for my clients. That is why I sell digital spreadsheets and I give out this information. Okay. This is exactly why you have to have a solid emergency fund as well. You want to have at least 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses um, before buying a house. Now let's go back to that formula. We calculated using the lender's max DTI of 43%. But what if you created your own comfortable DTI? Okay, so let's do a quick math. So your gross income is 6,250 times 0.36, which is your comfortable DTI, which is $2,250 in total allowable debt. And then you have $200. You take that $2,550 in total allowable debt minus the $1,050 of existing debt, and that equals to a $1,200 house payment. That is over $400 less per month than what the bank would have given you. That $400 is your breathing room. It's your peace of mind. It's the money that you can use for savings, vacations, and things like that. Again, it's about the numbers that work best for you. So of course, play with the numbers, come up with a budget, come up with something that will work best for your financial sake. Okay. So let's just say you worked out the numbers, you looking at them, and be like, "Girl, I'm like none of these numbers." I completely understand that happens. So let's work on how to improve your numbers. Okay, so what happens if you run the numbers and you hate them? Do not get discouraged. Your affordability isn't carved in stone. You have the power to change it, and it really comes down to improving your debt to income ratio. So there are two ways into improving your debt to income ratio. First, pay down your debts. Every single dollar of your debt that you knock out is a dollar that can go towards your housing payment. So start with the high interest credit cards and personal loans, and pay off that $400 card payment before you apply. Just pay off your debts. The second one is to increase your income. You can do this which is easier said than done, I know, but it's a huge lever. It's one of the other things you can do. You can get a side hustle, you get a co-borrower. This is why who you marry is important, because they can add on the extra income for you. You can get, go boost your gross monthly income directly can increase your affordability, basically. And a huge tip for at least 6 months before applying for a mortgage, go on a debt diet. Don't finance a new car. Don't open a new credit card account. Keep your financial profile clean and stable as possible. The path of buying a home can feel like you're navigating a maze blindfolded, filled with bad advice and paralyzing fear of the massive mistakes. But it doesn't have to. The answer is to toss out those old meaningless rules and focus on the one number that actually matters, your debt income ratio. By using the steps by using the step-by-step formula we walk through, you can figure out exactly what number a lender is likely to offer you. And also, you can figure out what you are comfortable with paying, your comfortable DTI that you can find in your budget that doesn't get you house poor, and you can thrive in your home without having financial anxiety. You're in control. Run the numbers. Look at my spreadsheets online, and just take the confident first steps into buying a house. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you. Let me know if you have any comments. Let's check the comments on the live to see if anybody has anything to say or if they like anything. Let's check it out. Okay, wait. I forgot. On this side, the comments are so small. Oh, I just dropped my glasses. Okay, I had dropped my glasses, yeah. So I'll put them on. Let's see. So I blocked that guy. Thank you so much for calling me beautiful. Wow, that's me. So block you. Oh, did I show that? I'm gonna block you too. All right, I don't see any comments on here. Let me know if you have any comments. Let me know. You can feel free to DM me or ask me. I'm happy that I am not showing the comments on streaming anymore because, whew, oh,